Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Share, subscribe, like this video. Make sure you put your prayer requests in the bottom. I'm trying out the new computer. I'm still trying to work out all the bugs on it, but I've got some things going, some things I don't. Still trying to figure it out. So hopefully in the next couple of days I'll have it all set up. Hopefully. If you make sure that you put your prayer requests in the bottom. The news coming out tonight, I told you we're going to go in more in depth. But Ukrainian President Zelensky arrived at the ongoing NATO summit this morning at 10:45, wearing his typical green army shirt, and exited his limo. Spectators were overwhelmed, commenting that the Slav has arrived. Now, NATO has agreed to put 400,000 troops on standby alert, so something's going on over there, by far. On the Ukraine issue, NATO allies have agreed to simplify the process of Ukraine's entries into the North Atlantic Alliance, Secretary Stoltenberg said. Nearby observers remarked that he had to be done because Ukraine, I'm not going to say it, they cannot get through the normal two-step process entering NATO, so they're going to try to hurry up the process to get them in. We reinstated that we have cannot say it. Ukraine will still become a member of NATO and agreed to cancel the requirements for an action plan for the membership of the alliance. This will change the path for Ukraine to join NATO quickly. Instead of a two-stage process, it will become a one-stage process, Stoltenberg said in a press conference. According, in the NATO summit also agreed of the establishment of the Ukraine NATO Council as well as the multi-year support program aimed at bringing Ukraine armed forces up to NATO standards, because they'll have to switch their equipment. They'll have to go from Russian equipment to NATO equipment. Above, the video leaders gathering shows my opinion some of the psychopaths on the planet, social and environmental damage they are conducting now. What in the world are these people have control for their type? There is no God, no spirit. Death seems to be nothing. Worst of all, they will be judged by men for their actions. Thankfully, God awaits. This is people's remarks of these people meeting together. As leaders convened above, the Bulgarian PM basically said that NATO is at war with Russia. He told Sky News, "We are a full-fledged war with. When you have a war, with the treaties are important, but it's even more important to have success on the battlefield." He said the decisions made around the cluster bombs are politically sensitive, but added that he did not want to go deeper into the topic. In addition, Germany has announced an aid package with a total cost of 600 million euros to launch the NATO summit. This package includes several Patriot launchers and surface-to-air missiles, additional mortars, Leopard 1 tanks, demining equipment, about 20,000 artillery shells, shells for the Leopard tanks, several drones for reconnaissance. Macron confirms media reports that France will be sending them the Scallop long-range missiles in Ukraine. They have about 300-mile range. So all that was on the meeting, the docket today. Russia has threatened to do countermeasures due to the Scallop and Sweden's entry. What he said about Turkey. See, the Kremlin announced today that they're closely monitoring the NATO summit in Vilnius, denouncing its anti-Russian character while stressing that it will take steps to protect Russian security. This is undoubtedly a meeting of the alliance with strong anti-Russian characters. Russia is considered an enemy, an adversary, and the talks will be held in this light, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry said, told reporters. At this same time, Petrov estimated that the European leaders do not seem to understand that moving NATO infrastructure close to the Russian border is a mistake. He emphasized that the alliance expansion into Central and Eastern Europe was what led to the current crisis in Ukraine. With regards to Sweden's ascension into NATO, Moscow pointed out that it would have clearly negative consequences for its security and added it would respond with corresponding measures, such as those taken after Finland joined the alliance. However, Petrov downplayed Turkey's decision to lift its objections to Sweden's NATO membership, pointing out that he has obligations as a member of the alliance and that Moscow is in no illusions about this. According to the Kremlin, Russia and Turkey have their differences, but they share a common interest. While Moscow intends to further strengthen its relations with Erdogan, at the time, the provisions of long-range missiles to Ukraine by France is a mistake, as noted in the Kremlin retrospection, which is to force Russia to take countermeasures. From our point of view, it is the wrong decision, which will have serious consequences for the Ukraine side because, of course, it will force us to take countermeasures against Ukraine. So that's Russia's side, what they're coming out with. Let's see if there's anything else. Well, there was a couple stories on here. So we pretty much know what day. Well, this just came out. Let's see what this is. Okay, Ukraine uses cluster bombs on, can't even say that word, Russia to respond in kind. Third war is approaching. This is just coming out. Deputy Chairman of Russian Security, Dmitry Medvedev, we call him the nuke lover, warned that World War III is approaching, stressing that Russia will respond to a bombing carried out by Ukraine with cluster munitions. Medvedev wrote Telegram that this is primarily results of today's NATO summit were identical to Russia's prior expectations, pointing out that the special military operation will continue with the same goals, and the most important of these goals is to reject Kiev's efforts to join NATO. Commenting that the results of primary NATO summit today, Medvedev paid special attention to the decision to invite Ukraine to join NATO, although the date of the ascension was left open and no conditions were set for that. He also pointed to the decision to raise the amount of military aid provided to Kyiv. Medvedev said that the Western aid to Kyiv regime with various weapons, and the latest, which is cluster munitions, is doomed to a dead end, adding that the Third War is approaching. He added, what does all this mean? Everything is clear. The special military operation will continue with the same goals, and one of the goals is the refusal of Kyiv, I can't say that word on here, groups to join NATO, which is insisted on from the beginning and is considered impossible for us. Medvedev indicated that the goal, that means that Russia will have to get rid of this group, stressing that the need to complete the plan to end the conflict and bring peace to Ukraine. Medvedev concluded by saying, note, it is reported that the city of Tomahawk, looks like, was bombed with cluster munitions. This means that it's time to reveal our arsenals of this inhuman weapon. Meanwhile, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei publicly stated that the confrontation in Ukraine will not end unless the West backs down from the idea of inflicting a strategic defeat on Russia. On top of that, Russian Defense Minister Shoigu, while visiting military factories, said that Washington makes good on its promise to send cluster munitions to Kyiv. The Russian military will use its own diverse arsenal on the battlefield. He then went further with a rather ominous remark. It should be noted that Russia has cluster munitions, as they say, for all the occasions. They are much more effective than the American ones. Their range is broader and more diverse. In other words, chemical and stuff like that. It's funny that they said that because that's what Kim Fisher was talking about that she got this morning about happening on American soil. But what he's talking about with different things, their munitions and their cluster bombs could have gases, chemicals, all kinds of stuff. So that's a pretty bad threat. And we all know that something bad's going to come out of all this stuff because God warned us about it. And not just us, many people He's warned that something is definitely going on and something's going to happen there. I'll kind of look through here. The big thing right now is that Russia knows what they're doing and they're making their plans. Like I said, World War III is just around the corner. I mean, basically that's what's happening. And you got to get on the boat while you can, bottom line. Because literally we're running out of time. And by the way, those people that ask me, why do I film things and film it at a certain time? I don't film a certain time. I don't edit this stuff. When I get done with the video, that's the time it's at. Somebody was accusing me of checking the time and doing all this stuff. And I'm like, what is these people even talking about? Why does he put videos at 11:11? I don't. When I get done recording, that's what the time is. I can't go in and edit. If I went in and edited these things, for one thing, I don't know how. I'm learning to do it. I'm trying to try. I've been trying here for hours trying to figure out even how to get this stuff to work. Can't even do it. I've never edited any of my videos that I've ever had on because I didn't. I'm doing this on a phone. Can't edit it. I've tried. Ken Fisher sent me a thing. I tried to figure it out on it. Could not figure it out. So I have not edited anything. What the time is when I turn this thing off. That's the time. So that's crazy. I don't know where these people come up with this stuff. You know what? I know that you guys can't see in the spirit. You can't see any of that stuff, and everything's got to be man. I feel sorry for you people. I don't know how you make it day by day. I really don't. It's kind of sad. I don't know how you all can even work for God, because everything to you is the devil, or it's man-made, or I mean, this poor world, bless their hearts. God could put a billboard sign right in front of their house, and they go, well, look at that. Some man put that there. I mean, they do. Oh, drives me. I'll just be glad when we get off this planet. I don't have to deal with these people anymore. I just want to be away from them permanently. Lord, come and get us out here. That's for sure. Like I said, keep your eyes open. Today's the 11th, tomorrow's the 12th. And I don't mean to get aggravated with these people, but I mean it's like talking to kindergarten kids, and it's so stressful. These people can't see into the spirit. They don't believe anything's God, everything's evil, and it's just, drives you up a wall. I don't mean for it to do that, but I'm telling you, after dealing with so many of them every day, it is stressful. And then they turn around and threaten you. And you're sitting there praying for them and everything, and then, I mean, it's just the world we live in, I guess. That's how close we know that's how we know we're close to getting out of here. But watch over there. Do you know it's snowing in Africa? It's never done it at this time of year. But yeah, today they woke up to snow. Flooding in Vermont, and they're also saying within the next hour or two, the dams could break in Vermont. That's in the United States, people. There's places up north that the rain is so bad that their dams are getting ready to break up there. So keep them in your prayers. More earthquakes before I even got on them. I don't even mention them anymore because they're every time, and it just gets stale. That's how many earthquakes are happening every single day. Not little ones, big ones, all over the place. Major sunspots, that's become an everyday thing. Hugely bad weather, tornadoes, hail, the size of basketballs everywhere. I mean, it's flooding in Japan, India, China. People, if you can't see what's happening, there's no hope for you. There's nothing we can do for you if you can't see what's happening. The world is degrading, and the Lord's done everything in the world to let us know that we're on the clock and the time is running out. These people are going to blow each other up. I've already seen it. You can believe that or not, I really don't care. But I'm going home, and I suggest you get on the ark. If you're lost, believe on Jesus, his blood. He died upon the cross. He rose on the third day. He defeated death. Washed away every sin, every past, present, future sins. If you believe that, trust in that, walk away from your path, go forward. You know, don't stay. I mean, you're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes. But you do your best. That's what it is, people, because we're all sinners. Anybody says they don't sin, they're a liar, and they're sinning because they lied. Trust me, everybody's a sinner. And you're not going to do any better. You just got to do the best you can, and then you're sealed. You're not going to lose the seal. You're going to go home. Doesn't mean you go out. I know I have to explain this. Another thing like talking to kindergarten kids. But every day, you know, when you're truly saved, you don't want to go back to the bars and all that stuff, okay? So I don't want to hear that stuff anymore. Get tired of hearing it. Like, well, you can sin. You know what? People, oh, Lord help. I know Jesus up there got to be banging his head on the wall dealing with it, because I know I do. It's just crazy. People that drive you insane. I mean, I don't know where they get this stuff from. Have faith in the blood, okay? Trust in the blood. It's all about the blood. It's the only way you're going to get in. I'm not talking to you, the church. I'm talking to you that's maybe on the fence. Some of you all with these horribly bad comments, because you're definitely not saved the way you talk to people. God's people do not threaten people or talk about their health. That's not God. So you definitely need to find your way to Jesus badly. Okay? You don't go from video to video talking bad about people when people are on here trying to get people saved before their time runs out. And if these people actually truly believed that this was getting ready, they would not be acting like this. But they're going to find out very soon. Very soon. I love each and every one of you. I'm not going to keep you any longer. I just want to run down. We've been monitoring the skies on all day. Military presence all over the United States and over in Europe is on heightened alert. Also, there's been a lot of the EASs today. That's us talking to our nuclear silos, our nuclear submarines, stuff like that. A lot of emergency action messages today. Something's up. We just don't know what it is, like I said. And like I said, I ain't too worried about it. I'm ready to go home. I know you guys are. I'm waiting for them to blow this thing so we can get out of here. So be ready for that chauffeur. We're just one day closer. Listen, I know I get aggravated, but I love it. Even you that don't like me, I do love you. It's just stressful sometimes. And when you're tired, when you work all day, you're trying to do all this stuff, you're trying to get people saved, and people always wanting to fight you, cuss you, threaten you, it gets old after a while, but I still love them. Don't get me wrong. I am a good person. I love people. I love helping people. That's all I've ever done in my life, is try to help people, even my enemies. So let's pray for all of our brothers and sisters out there, especially in Ukraine, Russia, all these places. They need our prayers. I love each and every one of you. If I don't see or hear from you again, I'll see you in heaven.